Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I have actress, writer, director, Lucie Guest with me. So welcome, Lucie.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. I've been a fan of yours for a while. You've been doing this for a little while.
Yep.
Yeah. So off camera, we were talking about my oldest daughter. Big fan of yours with the rom-coms, and you said that was your favorite genre.
It is. I love the 90s. Well, you know, when rom-coms were sort of like the late 80s and the early 90s rom-coms. I love. There's something nostalgic about them. I rewatch them all the time. I don't know. I think there's just, you know, everyone has their thing that they like to watch.
What's your favorite?
Well, rom-com or just like romance movie? Any of them?
Sure. Romance, rom-com.
Princess Bride is amazing.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
I think that was in the 80s or 90s. Was it?
That was the 80s.
80s. Yeah, it was. Okay. So, and I really, really love Dirty Dancing. I think it's such an amazing movie. I think it's so good. There's something about it. I rewatched that movie a lot. Patrick Swayze. I don't know.
I'm not going to fault you for that. That's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Patrick Swayze. That is a great movie.
Yeah. I mean, When Harry Met Sally, obviously.
Yes.
And I really like.
How do you feel about Dirty Dancing Havana Nights?
I haven't seen that one. I have not. Should I watch it? I haven't. Maybe I'll put that on my list.
No, I don't think you're missing much with that one.
Yeah, well, I also like you know, I'll watch the rom-coms, and then I really love like a romance or like a tragic romance. Like I probably rewatched Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet 50 times. Like I just really love
Really?
I don't know. And just like the Titanic or Notebook or Casablanca or
yeah.
I'm not even
there's certain films.
Yeah, there's certain movies. I'll just watch it forever. Yeah, like even my Halloween movies, like I just really like to rewatch like Ghostbusters or I don't know.
There's a new one coming out.
Yeah. And it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. Don't you think it's time that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan did another movie?
I agree.
What are they waiting on?
Yeah, I would watch it. They have at least one fan.
Yeah.
They have at least one guaranteed viewer. I will be.
Well, movies have kind of changed now that, you know, it's kind of messed up. They're starting to get back into theaters, but a lot of them are premiering on streamers and stuff. I don't know how they're counting fans now.
Yeah. Would you go see a movie? Have you been to the theaters yet?
I actually went and saw Dune Saturday, which was, I don't know, that's probably the first one I've seen in a theater in a while.
Yeah.
That's a good one to see in a theater, though. Very heavy.
I would like to see Dune. I went and saw Free Guy.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was my first movie back in like a movie theater.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm gonna watch. I would like to go see the James Bond in the Bond.
Yeah, me too.
That's
a good one for a theater.
Yeah, I feel like it, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I think, wrote or was one of the writers on it or wrote it. And I'm really curious because I'm such a huge fan of hers. Fleabag is like one of my favorite shows.
Fleabag is pretty amazing. That's a great show.
It's such a good show.
Yeah,
and so I was like, I'm really curious to see what it's like.
How have you not been on Fleabag yet? You would fit right on that show.
Thank you. That's probably the best thing I've ever heard.
I'll make some calls.
Okay, great. If you get on that. I love her so much. I don't know what I would do if I ran into her. There's a few people that I would just be sort of kind of like, actually recently a friend of mine is an AD and is working on a TV show, and the showrunner is Craig Mazin, who does this podcast called Script Notes. And I've been listening to them for years. Like, I feel like they're my other dads. And she recently told him, and then I was listening to it, and they basically, he talked to me through the podcast, and I almost, like, luckily I wasn't driving. I would have like crashed into a pole. Like, I was sort of like, I started sweating. I was like, this isn't happening to me right now.
So you're a fan.
I'm a fan of, I don't know, the most randomest things, I think.
That's great,
like,
though.
Yeah. Why would you be a fan? Like, if somebody is sort of like, I don't know, inspires you or basically, I don't know.
Well, so if you run into one of these people that you're a fan of, or you're working, let's say you're working, you get a TV show or a movie, you're working with somebody that you're a huge fan of. Do you fan out a little bit, or do you hold all that in and be very professional?
I haven't had it happen to me yet that I work with somebody that I like really fangirl over. That podcast shout out was pretty intense. And also, yeah, if I ran into somebody like Phoebe or something like that, but I think I would probably fangirl. I think I wear my I don't wear my cards close. What's that saying? Wear your cards close to your chest?
Yes.
Well, I don't do that.
You don't do that. Yeah, you don't do that.
And yeah, I think I would be completely more awkward than I am now. I would just be super awkward, I think.
That's why, well, let me think. There's 100,000 reasons why I wouldn't be an actor, but that's a pretty big one because I drive everybody crazy.
I don't know. I would like to see you in something.
No, you would not.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe a rom-com.
A rom-com, see?
I don't know. I could be the guy that someone goes on the date with and figures out they're not ready.
They're not the right guy.
I'm not the right guy.
Like, you're perfect on paper, but not in real life.
Yeah.
Like, you tick all of her boxes, but for some reason, something's a little off.
Yeah, it's just off.
Like the big city, but she's more of a small town girl.
There you go. That could be me.
That's you.
It just doesn't work out.
And you're a lawyer, or you're an attorney of some sort, and you like big corporations, and she's like, like small corporations.
I think are you writing this right now?
I think we're writing it right now.
Well, in like, for me, if it's really a rom-com, then this poor guy he's a good guy, but he wasn't right for her. So, she ditches him.
Yeah.
Somewhere, like, he's a loose end. At the end, they tied up. He meets somebody.
That'd be nice if you could meet someone.
It's a little side plot.
A little side, yeah. It'd be nice to tie that. Because usually what happens, you just never hear from him again or see him again.
Yeah.
But he's usually a bit of a ding dong. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right. I could be a ding dong.
A little bit rude to the service. We don't want to be that too. A little bit. Okay, we'll make you not too rude to the service, but maybe you don't tip as. Maybe you don't tip as high as you should. You have to give you some qualities, not you, but your character, that are unlikable. Otherwise, we're going to end up with you.
Yes.
Well,
see, I like this.
Okay.
Because I always watch these movies and I'm like, what about that guy? He didn't seem so bad. Wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, what happens?
Or her. Sometimes it's a her.
I think maybe we should make a rom-com movie about that guy. Yes. And he's the lead of the show. Like the guy that never gets the girl.
What if you did a rom-com and you think it's going to follow one character, like that's the story. It starts out like the whole thing, she's talking in her head and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But then she goes on the date and it's a good guy, but it's not, it's not for her. It's not what she's looking for stuff. And then all of a sudden the movie's about that guy.
I think we're on to something. I'm going to write that movie. Solid 20 minutes of the movie. You think it's going to be about this girl falling in love, but no, it's about Randy, the mechanic. And, and we're going to find out about Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. And then it could, I don't know, it could circle back to her right at the end of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure what she's doing. She's like, maybe it circles back to her and she's like, maybe I should have given Randy a shot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's too late.
She's like, we find her and she's like doing the spoken word and the whole poetry is about Randy, the one that got away.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We could make this cheap.
Yeah.
This could be low budget.
This could be low budget.
We could, it could at least be, I know you're really good with the like short films. This could be a short film.
Yeah. This could be a short film. Do you own a garage? Overalls? Broken down cars?
I will find some overalls. I mean, I'm in West Virginia. We should all probably have overalls.
I love West Virginia. We could shoot it there. We could shoot it here. I don't know what's happening to this, why the computer keeps going light and bright, but I keep trying to adjust it. Can you see me?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
If you disappear, I'll let you know.
Hey, I have a complex now. I can't see myself, so
I've seen the light, I don't know, do something, but it hasn't changed. You're fine. Conversation could be the sequel, like the start of the sequel to Never Better.
It really could. Never Better sequel. I actually just wrote one.
Did you really?
Yeah. I wrote one because I went through another breakup.
Oh my gosh. Because I just watched it like today. I watched Never Better today. Oh, awesome. Hilarious.
Thank you.
It's you had a lot happened in 10 minutes.
A lot happened in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot happened.
Is it difficult to convey all that? Like you have to catch up quickly with what's going on with the lead character. Like
yeah. She's I think the lead character is definitely in search of closure, and then she gets something else completely different in return. She kind of gets what's coming to her, I guess, because I think she's kind of a little bit delusional in that, thinking that maybe she made a mistake, and he's probably just waiting for her as well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I was with her, like I was rooting for her. And then the guy says, yeah, I was rooting for her. And then the guy says, well, it's been a year.
I know. That's the thing. So then that's when it switches and you're like, wow, woman, get over it. Yeah, but I like it. I think I wrote that movie because I was taking so long to get over a breakup, like a really long time.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I'll just write a story about closure, or like, and yeah, I think it was like a cathartic experience. I definitely feel he's seen it, the ex that it was kind of based on.
What do you think of
it?
He liked it. Okay.
He liked it. It's an exaggeration. It's not nothing. It's a story based on. So obviously,
well, that's right. That's right.
They're not these things, but I wrote, that one was called Never Better, a closure comedy. And this one that I just wrote is called It's Been Better, actually. And it's about a similar situation about,
but you haven't filmed it yet, right?
Maybe jam. I'll just write about people trying to find closure. I'll just keep going through breakups and writing about them. I mean, maybe that's my jam.
Maybe, yeah, that could be your little niche.
I mean, maybe I'm the video version of Adele.
Yes.
I'm the short film version of Adele. She writes songs and I write short films.
You could write one called It's Never Randy.
It's Never Randy, and that could be the start of
it's like a spinoff.
It's a spinoff. It's Never Been Randy.
Never Been Randy.
Never Been Randy.
He could go through, you could have like the montage of all the times that it didn't work out when he went on these horrible dates.
And then when the credits roll, it'll be like Randy living his best life with his new girl.
I like that. Like in the credits, it'll just have
it's just like another small movie.
Yeah. This writes itself.
It sounds like it's been written.
I'm a big fan of Randy's.
I'm a big fan of Randy's. Man, the most popular mechanic in all of West Virginia.
It would take some serious acting on my part because I am the most unmechanic.
I just got a text from the ex just now, real time. Okay.
Yeah.
He says, no, they're just in regular Virginia.
Oh, well, that's close. You've been in the area.
I got one word of the two.
Yeah, you did. You did. Okay. It's actually, the scenery is very similar.
Okay, so
they used to be one.
I won't take back that West Virginia is very beautiful.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'll take that back.
Okay, good.
Don't break Randy's heart.
No, I won't. Man.
So that film I saw, you were like a filmmaker to watch a few years back.
Yeah.
What's that like?
I think it's time.
I haven't got a podcaster to watch yet.
Oh, well, that was exciting. I was actually surprised by that. I didn't know that was happening. Somebody else must have nominated me because I didn't.
What's the deal?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. That movie actually was such an awesome experience. We made it in a weekend. Everyone was brand new cinematographer and a brand new production designer, and everyone was new. And so we're just making this little passion project. We made it in Vancouver. It was one of the rainiest weekends in Vancouver, like sheet rain. And I remember the first day we were shooting, our first AD was MIA. I think he slept in or something. So we didn't have a first AD, and we shot in this location an hour and a half out of town. It was super pitch black, and it was a brand new sound person, and they lost the boom, like this boom where they hold the, and it was somewhere in Langley. So we didn't find that out until we got back to Vancouver. And also, once we arrived in Vancouver to shoot the whole day, it was just a small little clip that we shot in Langley. The new camera, we accidentally locked the camera keys in the camera van. So basically we had like no sound, no camera, nobody, no AD. Like, we were all just sitting around eating a long lunch going, okay, are we going to shoot anything today? I didn't think we'd actually have a movie. And then somehow we pulled it off. We were able to get what we needed for the day. And, it made it to a lot of film festivals. It was an amazing experience. I went to a bunch of them. I went to the one in Malibu, and Pierce Brosnan handed me my award, which was pretty wild. That's
pretty awesome. James Bond handed you the award, or Remington Steele.
It was a bit of a trip. I wasn't expecting anything. I actually was sitting at the bar talking to some other filmmakers, and I'm from Canada, and we order doubles, and it's like a single in America. And so I ordered a double, and I was like, whoa, this is like, I gotta go home. It was very strong. So I remember like drinking this one drink, and as I was there, and I remember hearing my name being called, and I just had no idea why. And I walked on stage, and they handed me this award and a microphone, and I was like, oh my God, I just drank a really strong drink. And
what was the alcohol?
I think I was just ordering. I'm not a huge drinker. I just ordered like a vodka soda. But here, when we order a vodka soda, you usually say I'll have a double, because we everything's like measured out in ounces.
Yeah. So they're kind of small.
Regular vodka soda, a double vodka soda here is just like a regular vodka soda where you guys are, is what I always forget. Don't order doubles when you go to the States.
So they gave you like a full-size glass of vodka is what I'm getting.
Basically.
That's pretty good.
So all I remember going, this story is exciting, but that's the most exciting thing that happened, is that he then handed me my award. And
exciting though.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we went to Portland, and that was amazing to be a part of that film festival. And Portland was just so cool. I just think it's such a great city. There's really great food and beer and art. I just thought.
Are you positive you were in Portland?
No, again, I could have been in Washington. I could have just been in like.
Washington's right beside it. They're on the.
Yeah, I was probably actually just in. I'm just trying to think of that little town on the other side of the border.
So it's in Washington. It's in Washington. I actually got a job offer there in that little town, in that little town across the border.
Oh,
It was
the
7
one
miles.
I can't think of.
Yeah, I can't think of it either, but
It
it's
starts with
7.
B. Does it start with a B? Is it called
I'll know it if I hear it. It's like 7 miles from Portland, but it's in Washington.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah.
This is a great lesson on geography.
This is we're learning.
We're learning. We're learning that don't trust me in maps. That's what we're learning.
This is good. This is good.
This is great. Blaine. I was gonna say Blaine.
Oh, Blaine, yeah.
Was your job offer in Blaine or Bellingham?
What was the other one?
Bellingham.
I think it was Bellingham.
Yeah. Well, in any
case, across the border.
I'm pretty sure I was in Portland.
Yeah. Portland's pretty awesome. It's a very nice town.
Portland's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Coffee. Coffee. I forgot to say the coffee there. If you like coffee, so good.
I'm a recent convert to coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still I haven't got to the point where I can stand it just by itself. I got to mix some stuff in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar.
You're probably drinking your coffee just coffee.
I did for a long time, just drink it with just a little bit of almond milk or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I put in. It's almond milk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See,
that's my jam.
We're connecting over coffee. This short film is going to be a piece of cake.
This is going to be amazing.
So the Netflix movie Hypnotic.
Yes.
It's very it's not a rom-com.
No.
It's very psychological thriller type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. But I'm squeamish and I get nervous when stuff's happening on there. So there were some parts.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing around with this tarantula thing. It was awful.
That was a real tarantula.
It looked real.
Yeah, they were, because the first one of the first things they said to me, and everyone asked me, like, are you okay with spiders? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm okay with spiders. Pretty sure. They're like, well, we have a stunt double just in case you change your mind. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I won't change my mind. And the funniest thing is I heard that they had to get a new stunt double because she found out it was a tarantula and she got scared.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah. But once I met Harry's the tarantula.
The tarantula, of course.
Yeah. My feelings towards the tarantula changed. I'm not gonna say it was love at first sight, but when I learned that they're so delicate, and once they put it in your hand, it becomes it's like a little pet. It's the weirdest. Listen, I didn't think I'd be one of these people that talks about pet tarantulas. I didn't think so. But when I met him, not only is he gorgeous, you can see their fangs on their
mouth.
They have little heads and their little fangs, but they move really slowly. So he crawls all the way up to here, all the way up.
I know. Ugh.
The craziest thing about the tarantula is that it's just they were saying that only 1 or 2% of the population is allergic to the poison or something.
How do you not get bit though?
Well, you could get, and I could get bit for sure. But the reason why I wore a coat and long sleeves in that scene is because of.
Okay, well that makes me feel slightly better.
Yeah, but I because a lot of people asked her did they defang the tarantula? I was like, no. I mean, they did not defang it. I don't know how you would defang tarantula. But anyways, there was a bunch of. So the first thing that you do is you meet the animal wrangler, and they take you to this. They have all these boxes or things where they have all the spiders.
Did you get to pick your spider?
Pretty much, because there were these other little spiders which were actually terrifying. Yeah. Because they were half the size of Harry.
They're probably faster.
super fast. That's the other thing. And they can hide and they can ball up and hide into like little parts of your clothing and you can't find them, and go into the events with the car and things like that. And so they move really quickly. But the thing about them is that they shed the hairs of these little spiders, and then they like kind of stick into your skin. And so I was like, no to these fast little guys, because I thought that was scarier than like Harry, who was just kind of like just being a great scene partner.
Yeah.
You know,
when
like,
you put it that way, I think I'd want like a big, fat, slow tarantula.
You want a big, fat, slow tarantula because you can it feels at that point that you have like a small dog or something.
I don't buy that, but okay.
Or something, but they're also, if you were to drop the tarantula, they could shatter. So they're super delicate.
Oh.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh, Harry.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better.
That did make me feel better too when they told me that. But yeah, there's like a code. I was like, oh, because when I first had Harry and he was like climbing up here, I was like, okay, get it off. But because you can feel like their hands are sticky, like they kind of. But I mean, arachnophobia is a real thing. There were a couple people that day that stayed. I think there was 2 people that stayed home that day that did not come to set even.
My mother has a horrible fear of spiders. I mean, it's awful. When I was in college, I was still home, at home, and I was in bed. At that time, my father ran a paper route, so it was probably 4 a.m. He was out. He was gone. So I was home. My mother was a night owl, so she's up all night. But she was in the basement, two floors beneath me, and she screamed. I mean, it sounded like she was getting murdered. It was the worst, most terrifying sound. And I remember somehow I jumped out of bed, never touched the floor, ran right into the wall, just smacked right into the wall. About knocked myself out. But and she's screaming. I eventually get downstairs to the basement, and it's not even a big spider. It's like, Mom, I just took care of the spider and just went. I couldn't even talk to her. I just went back to bed.
I mean, I have one friend who's terrified of spiders. I didn't even tell her about Harry yet because I don't know if that would.
You better warn her. Or she watches the movie.
I should warn her about Harry, but she once came home and saw a spider in her apartment and had to stay at a friend's house for a week. Like, she is so terrified of spiders. So I could imagine somebody being that terrified of spiders, what that would be like to have a giant spider on you.
No, that's awful. That's awful.
But I was, I was surprised. I kind of missed Harry a little bit. That little guy.
Maybe we could write a short film about Harry.
Well, it was a long COVID and the touch of a man, and not just one leg, but 8. I mean,
so what is Hypnotic about?
So Hypnotic is basically a psychological thriller about this woman named Jen, who's played by Kate Siegel, who's going through a really rough patch in her life. Basically, she's suffered some tragedy in her personal life, gone downhill. Her professional life is like non-existent right now. And so I play her best friend, and I have had a lot of, Gina, this character that I play, has had a lot of success with hypnotherapy, and is starting to thrive in her personal and professional life. And she would love to see her friend, turn a corner. So she, after a lot of convinces her friend to start seeing this their hypnotherapist, and his name's Dr. Mead, and he's played by Jason O'Mara. And then he starts hypnotizing her, but things kind of go very differently for her character. And it takes a dark, really twisted nightmare situation happen.
Watching this movie, I'm like, I don't think this is a rom-com. It's misled.
Yeah, not a rom-com. Not a rom-com.
Really good, though. And you were excellent.
Thank you. And also, I feel like yeah, it definitely makes you question hypnotherapy, but also, which I would recommend. I personally would not recommend. I don't want anyone going into my brain, but whatever works for people, no judgment. But it was, what was unique or really cool about this movie is that the directors were, there were two directors, and they're husband and wife, and they're incredible. They sort of like almost like read each other's minds and finish each other's sentences. It was,
Oh,
I
that's
never
nice.
really been directed by two directors before on one project. I have been in a series, and you get different directors for different episodes, but that was pretty cool. Actually, that's not true. I have been directed by two directors, but they kind of took turns directing, whereas they were really both doing the directing the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. But you'd think that it wouldn't work out very well, but it was kind of, I don't know. I don't understand why. And now I'm like, oh, there should be more duos out there.
It's because most people can't get along.
Yeah, I guess it is a bump to do it with your partner, because you already know each other's minds so well, and you have a shorthand. And
I bet if it worked well, it'd be really good.
So fun.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
That's the ultimate rom-com.
Yeah.
To direct with your other half. That's what people say, right? That are in love. My other half.
Yeah, the other half.
Okay, all right. I wouldn't know. I write movies about breakups. I mean, you're talking to the wrong gal.
You made an appearance on this kind of odd. At the time, it was kind of odd. Now it's not as odd, but it was called You, Me, Her. Mm-hmm. You showed up for a couple episodes of that. Thought you were really good in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was an odd show, but it was like it was just a few years ago, but at the time it seemed kind of risque. And now I think if it came out now, you'd be like, it'd be good, but it just wouldn't be as risque.
That was they definitely edited down than what we were doing on the set. The character I played got up there and made a whole presentation for herself, and then everyone started kissing.
Yeah.
They cut all that out, but that was fun to shoot.
So there's a director's cut out there.
There's got to be a director's cut. I want to see that one personally.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. And of course, you were on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. We loved you on that. Whole family loved you on that.
Oh, thanks. I loved doing that show. I love things that have attention to detail, and that show has so much attention to detail, even in the production design. There was things hidden in the production design and costumes that were so subtle and so, small. But I thought it was so well done. And
did you get to keep the costume?
I wish.
That'd be like on Halloween. That'd be fun.
I would just dress up as that character every year, because
you have to put that into your contract. You got to get better at that.
Thank you. You know what? I should just email you next time.
Yes. Let me help you with that.
You can just do you help me with my contracts? Clearly I'm not doing well there.
I can't help you with like the important part, but just the dumb stuff that later you'll wish you had. I can do.
Okay, good. I will definitely hit you up on that. I should have kept the costume. The costume was incredible. That sort of Moulin Rouge dress.
Yeah.
So the costume designer also was a costume designer on Moulin Rouge.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense now that you say it.
Yeah. So he was saying, I think what he was doing in that one, because not all the costumes are like that. Just that character kind of had that sort of Moulin Rouge sort of, one of her dresses were like that Moulin Rouge sort of dress. And he was like, this is bring me back to my Moulin Rouge days, which I thought was just really cool to have. I just love collaborating with people that have a lot of, they're really passionate about what they do, and they have sort of, they just, they bring in a lot of experience. It's just so inspiring when you're working with somebody that, loves what they're doing and works really hard and brings their all to it.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a fun show.
Such a fun show. And the cast on that show Kiernan Shipka, who plays Sabrina. Like huge props to her. She's a younger actress, but she's been acting since she was a kid. I guess Mad Men. I don't know if she started before Mad Men. Is it Mad Men? It's Mad Men, right? She was on.
Yeah.
So
she started young.
She started really young, but she is so. She really sets the tone. I really do believe that the tone is set from the people that sort of are at the top, or at least there every single day, like the producers, directors, and the main cast. And she was completely welcoming to every actor that was on that show. She'd have like host game nights, so we would go to her.
That's pretty great for somebody younger to do that.
Yeah, just like that show had such an incredible energy on set. Very welcoming. Everyone was a part of the conversation. It was no egos or nobody was just like had a bad attitude. It was just sort of like really nice. And I think it felt like more of a family than a lot of shows, especially when I came in season 3 for a season, and immediately, like within the first week that I was there, Lucie was hosting the games, like doing the judging of the games night, and the whole cast was there. And it was so much fun. And everyone felt like a bit of a family, which I just really love that.
That's pretty awesome.
It was so awesome. And, they're not all shows are like that, unfortunately. Sometimes you do join a show and the energy is a little bit different on set. Some people kind of keep more to themselves. Not that that's a bad thing, but it can be hard when you're like the new girl that comes in, or the new actor, especially day players that come in for a day. It's kind of overwhelming when you join a cast that's like, been at it for many years, and they're sort of like a solid family. It can feel sort of, overwhelming, or,
feel left out.
Yeah. Or just like, it's intimidating when you kind of don't have, you're like, sitting alone at the cafeteria or whatever. You have that kind of feeling, but with that show, it was just, everyone was always a part of the conversation. It was really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Has there ever been a show about being a day player on a show that's been on the air for years, and they're really mean to the new person?
I don't know.
Thinking that there's something there. That could be something.
That could be something. What came to my mind is is that show Extras. Ricky Gervais.
I love that show.
Oh, so good. I was like, I wonder if somebody was mean to a day player on that show. I mean, I think I've seen it somewhere before. I'm sure. I'm sure it exists.
I've given you so many good ideas.
I know. So many. I mean, Randy the Mechanic. For life. Yeah. You think we're joking, but we're going to get off this podcast and you're going to be like, I got to write this stuff down. I'll be in the middle of the night. I'll just like wake up in a cold sweat. It's like, Randy the Mechanic. And I'll have all these ideas. Like typing. It's like that cat meme. That'll be me.
I'll get this call and they'll be like, your presence is requested in Canada. Like, okay, if I have to go.
If I have to.
I have to. Although we could shoot it here. If you'll come to West Virginia, we could do it right here at the studio.
Yeah, not regular Virginia.
West Virginia. Your first time.
My first time. I love that
See,
we've got to go to West Virginia.
You have to. We've got our studio's right on Main Street. Mm-hmm. So there's bars, there's restaurants, there's a theater, there's all these places you could shoot for a rom-com.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to leave the street.
Has there been any rom-com shot in West Virginia? Do you think?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So
our big star from this area of West Virginia would be Jennifer Garner.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's great. But I don't think she's ever done a West Virginian rom-com.
Probably not. I love what she's doing with her. Doesn't she have a farm out there? Is that what she has?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure she does. Yeah. Yeah, her family's still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And horses. apparently.
Yeah. Did I see? Am I crazy that maybe you were filming something with her in it?
Yeah, I was. I never had any scenes with her though.
But she's in the same movie, right?
Yeah, she's in the same movie, but I didn't. And from what I heard is that she's incredible. Like she, I think she baked cookies for the cast and crew.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that cast sounded the Adam Project, right? Am I right?
Yeah, the Adam Project.
And the cast looks amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. I think that won't come out for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think probably next year. I don't even know. I haven't heard anything about the release dates yet, but it was an amazing experience and such a great cast.
Your name was right in the middle of that cast.
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
Randy the Mechanic, and it'll be right in the middle of Randy the Mechanics too.
See? That's somewhere in Randy's adventures. we need a cameo from Jennifer where that's Randy's like, no, this is not for me.
Randy's saying no to Jennifer?
Yeah, not for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It needs to be quick. Like
Randy,
she needs to.
Crazy?
Yeah, she needs to. Like Randy's sitting. He's sitting at the table. She comes in, sits down, like starts to say her name, and he's like, no, and just gets up and walks away.
She should just come by. Yeah, where she's basically, maybe it's her coming by and she has her number on a piece of paper for him.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. Do you like,
and then he just, like she walks off, he just wads it up and throws it.
Yeah. I don't know what else they do in West Virginia, but it looks like you probably have rivers. And would you like to go like on a kayak? And he's around.
Oh, yeah. Kayaks, whitewater rafting. We do all that here.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, from the Google search that I did while we were on this.
You mean from your firsthand knowledge of driving through the state?
My firsthand knowledge in West Virginia. Looks like you guys have rivers.
I think I'm into the adventures of Randy.
Maybe you should write the book first and we'll adapt it, because now everyone's crazy about pre-existing IP. Intellectual. Sorry,
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see what I can come up with. I think we're choosing the wrong person to write this, but okay.
No, it's got to be Randy. It's got to be a first-hand account. About Randy.
Poor Randy.
Poor Randy. Poor Randy. He has a happy ending. No, not poor Randy. Happy Randy.
So is Lucie the director and the writer hard on Lucie the actress?
I don't think you have to be a director or writer to be hard on the Lucie the actress.
Well, because you perform in some of your own stuff.
Oh, I know.
Are you hard on yourself?
Oh, I think in general, I think always, but like some things I'm really not, some things I am. But I think as a director, probably, I don't know if it's hard, but I think I basically like to do a lot of extra takes to be able to have more freedom in the edit, because sometimes, what's happening in the moment doesn't always translate maybe comedically in the edit, I've found. Yeah. Like sometimes everyone finds really funny on the day we're shooting, you edit that together and you're like, oh, this is not as funny anymore. And then there's things that people don't laugh at that tend to get the biggest laughs. It's really interesting. So I like to do a range of stuff as much as I can. Yeah, I don't know what it is. And I've also seen that in like when I've done other people's projects and watched the final edit. Things that we found, the crew found, the actors really funny on set, wasn't the biggest moments on the funniest moments on screen. And sometimes they were. It's just such a mysterious beast. Like it's really hard to pinpoint things. Like sometimes it's just a matter of timing or like tightening up the edit versus having, and then sometimes it's about it breathing a little more that make it funnier. It's just such an interesting
Well,
equation.
when you write, do you, I mean, are you heavy with the dialogue, or do you let the actors more improv? Or
I'm definitely not a stickler for what's on the page. I think I like to sort of tailor things to people, and I like to sort of see those moments that are sort of not written come to life. I think sometimes,
yeah,
you know, letting the camera run a little bit longer after the scene is finished, you can catch some really amazing moments that weren't um, maybe written dialogue, or you know, I think that like I really like when I get to work on really good writing, because the thing is that a lot of the moments are sort of between the dialogue, and um, you can come up with these looks or these moments or these sort of like, you know, emotional beats in the scene that aren't necessarily written on the page, but they are there on the page. And even, you know, and sometimes you're exploring or coming up with those if it's not there, if the, you know, sometimes you work on projects that have been written really quickly, so they don't have that writer hasn't had so much time to sort of carve out a huge backstory for every single character. So sometimes as an actor, you have to come up with those yourself and bring them to the director or the writers. But if you're working on a show like Sabrina or one of these shows, you just basically stick to the dialogue exactly. But you can bring in moments that are sort of, yeah, not on the page, but are on the page. It's hard to explain. But
I kind of get that. I mean, what's your preference as an actress? What's your preference? Do you prefer to have a little more leeway, or do you
yeah,
like
I think I do. It depends on the character, especially if it's like a darker thing, or if it's a drama, or if the character has some, you know, an accent. Sometimes I'd rather, I mean, I don't, but in general, if I'm doing some sort of a rom-com or just, I like to have, I love when the directors say, okay, let's do one more take, and you can kind of have some freedom with it. And those are sort of sometimes my favorite ones. And a lot of times little moments like that will end up in the movie, and it's kind of nice to see. But I think it just, for me, it allows some sort of freedom for flow to happen. Because sometimes I feel like I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to say the words exactly, and I want to honor the writer. And I can get a little bit like, it feels like you're really stuck on delivering it exactly how it's expected. And when you're given the freedom to flow or to sort of like
yeah,
what happens, sometimes these like magical moments happen that you weren't expecting or they weren't expecting, and it you know, just comes out of nowhere. It's pretty awesome.
yeah, that is pretty great. That's
Mhm.
pretty great. So, what did you do first? Were you an actress first? Were you a writer first? What did you do first?
I was an actress first, and then I started doing sort of like sketch comedy and improv. Uh, I studied at like the Groundlings and
Yeah,
UCB and Second City, and I did a little bit of
just the
stand up,
little ones.
just the little ones.
Yeah,
I did a little bit of stand up, and I was trying to learn how to like write characters and learn how to write story and sketches first.
how
And
were you at stand up? You pretty
well,
good?
I mean, it was definitely fun, and I really enjoy it,
Yeah,
but obviously not enough to continue doing it. I I mean, I have hosted since, which felt like doing a little stand-up show. Um, but yeah, I guess not enough. I also just don't like the lifestyle.
yeah.
I don't
It's
like
kind of a rough lifestyle.
I mean, I found it really hard to balance that being up late with an early morning 10-page audition about, you know, medical jargon. I was like, it's one or the other in my mind. I just couldn't, I'm one of those people that needs sleep. So
yes, there's no lunchtime stand-up.
Yeah. And I was like, if I wanted to do it, I think for me, it was like, I'd want to do this right and really spend time crafting it. And I think I crafted a good small 5 to 10 minute set that I knew would get laughs. And, certain jokes always got, at least I knew at these certain points in this, whatever small short set, they only did it for a year. But when it came to like expanding and wanting to spend more time with it, I guess my heart wasn't enough into it to dedicate that kind of time. And I prefer playing characters and discovering and telling stories that way. However, it's kind of been on my mind lately to maybe do the odd night, like open mic night here or there.
You should.
It's not out of my system forever.
Perhaps
it's just kind of out of my
West
system.
Virginia.
No, maybe. So I think that was sort of my way of going to film school.
Yeah, that's
learning
smart.
on the job.
It'd be a lot funner than, or more fun than film school.
Yeah. I guess. I kind of do miss the alum. Like people have these they feel like they've got their people that they're like, hey, we all went to the same school. But it is what it is.
Overrated.
It's overrated. Exactly.
Well, Lucie, this has been just a blast. And you do have to come back. There's so much more to talk about. And well, Randy took up a lot of time.
Well, Randy.
Damn Randy.
Well, maybe when I come back, I'll have sort of like a synopsis for our.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We have to figure out, we gotta get into, Randy's style and his personality, all that stuff.
Yeah. What makes Randy tick?
Yeah. What makes Randy tick?
What are his likes, his dislikes? Okay.
There you go.
You have homework.
Yeah.
You have homework. You have to write.
You got homework.
You have to write the Tales of Randy. And I will write the screen adaptation of your book.
Okay. That's fair.
The short film version.
That's fair. That's fair because then you have a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
So, real quick, Lucie, I didn't get the chance to mention it, but Orphan Black, you're really good on too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was that's such a great show.
I know. I'm nerdy, so big fan of Orphan Black, but you were really good.
Huge fan of Orphan Black. That shows she's incredible.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So before you go, because I know we have Pilates we got to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly in late to this thing. They're already like.
You just blame it on me.
I'm gonna blame it on you. Yeah. I'm gonna be turtleneck. I'm just gonna turn my computer on and I'll be turtleneck Pilates. I'm not afraid.
So before you go, anything else that you have upcoming that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, besides the movie I just finished, which we talked about, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Hypnotic.
Hypnotic, yes. Everybody should watch that one.
Everyone should watch that.
Maybe fast forward through the tarantula scene, but that's a personal choice.
Fast forward to the tarantula.
Or right.
Whatever.
Depends on what you're into, I guess.
What you're into.
If you look at it right, that moment, it could be a rom-com if that's the only part you watched.
That's how I mean, some people out there love a spider, love a hairy spider, and I'm not mad at it.
Well, I was gonna say I had never met one, but now I have. So
I wish they let me take Harry home, and here he is. Could you imagine?
You didn't bring the costume home, but you brought Harry.
But I brought Harry.
Yeah, there you go. So the last thing before you go, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, I'm on Instagram mostly, and it's just my name.
I found you on there.
Okay, great. And then I'm not really on Twitter, but I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Same.
And that's it.
You kind of have to be, right? I mean, you kind of have to be, just in case.
I look at it like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So
Just in case something happens and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm going to see what's going on.
yeah, just, peep in there every once in a while. But mostly just Instagram. I haven't even done the TikTok thing yet.
Ooh.
Maybe never will.
See, I'm too old, I guess. My son does TikTok
Yeah.
and he's really good, but maybe that's how Randy gets into this stuff. Randy gets his own TikTok channel.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Randy's going to be busy.
Randy's got a lot to do. I think
He's got a
Randy
lot
has
to do.
his own tails.
Yeah.
He's got to find a mechanic shop. He's got to become a mechanic. He's got to get overalls.
Got to get some overalls.
He's
Got to get a hold of Jennifer Garner.
And he has to like turn down.
I mean, she could film that just as she's passing, like when she comes home to visit her mother. She could stop in and take like 5 minutes.
I don't see why not.
Why would she say no to that?
I don't think she would.
I don't think so either.
So I guess just more motivation for Tales of Randy.
There we go. There we go. Well, Lucie, thank you so much for putting up with my nonsense and
You're welcome.
spending a very quick hour with me.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah. That means that when we do part 2, we'll both be like, oh man, this one's taking forever.
Only been 5 minutes. Oh.
Well, 5 minutes next time. It's a very quick part 2.
Let's do intros.
All right, Lucie. Hold on one second. All right, so that was the terrific Lucie Guest. Big fan of hers, now even bigger fan. She was such a good sport. She was so fun to talk to. And it really, I don't know what you guys think watching it, but to me, it just flew by. She was so fun to talk to. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. Really appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, we could use the help with our YouTube channel, MeisterCon Pod. Please go there and subscribe. There's hundreds of interviews on there. I guarantee you'll find somebody you like. You can also check out our website, meistercon.com. It's full of fun, geeky material. It's got all 300 of our interviews, our episodes, audio and video, so you can check that out. We'll let you know if there's anything going on at the studio, and if we're going to any conventions, anything like that will be on there. So please check that out, meistercon.com. So until next time, thank you guys so much. Thanks to Lucie. Bye, everybody.